Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to another review. The game we're reviewing today is Doom 3. So, the DLC for Doom the Dark Ages is right around the corner, and I am super excited for the trailer. Looks incredible. So I thought in preparation I could try out one of the Doom games that I hadn't played yet. And Doom 3 caught my eye, not just because it was on a discount, but also because it just kind of always looks interesting. I had seen like screenshots and clips and heard things about Doom 3 being uh, really good, so I thought to give it a try. It seemed interesting. Yeah. So as always, we're going to be splitting the review into parts concerning gameplay, visual story, and soundtrack. As always, we're not doing a spoiler-free, spoiler-full division this time around because this game is so old that making sure not to give away any spoilers would be a pretty silly thing to do. So we're just gonna talk about it. You're probably already seeing gameplay in the background. Let's start by talking about the gameplay, which is not great. I mean, I do get that it's because the game's old, but it wasn't really that fun. Like the aiming in this game is unbelievably bad. If I strongly recommend that you use the aim assist. I did my first playthrough without using the aim assist. I don't know why. I don't know what I was trying to prove to whom, but I did it and it was not very fun. Now I'm doing my second playthrough with the aim assist turned on, and it's significantly better that way because the aim assist is more, it doesn't really assist you as much as aim for you. It just keeps your crosshair locked onto the enemy and refuses to let go. So that's a really nice feature because without it, aiming is impossible. You'll be trying to hit a guy 1 meter in front of you and you will not be able to. It's really ass without the aim assist, but So yeah, apart from just the aiming, overall most of the guns don't feel that good to use. I mean, well, switching weapons is extremely annoying too. Like, oh my god, for some reason you can't switch weapons if you can switch weapons mid-reload, so if one of your guns runs out of ammo and it starts reloading, then you're screwed because you can't change weapons mid-reload for some reason. And yeah, that kind of sucks. And one gun in particular that also I think sucks major ass is the shotgun. I don't know I don't know why they designed the shotgun that way. I I don't know if that's how shotguns used to work in all old school video games, but my god, the shotgun in this game absolutely fucking blows ass. I hate it. Well, I guess you could argue that there's an art to using it because the shotgun's spread in this game is so unbelievably wide that in order to one shot the basic enemy, you have to, you basically have to be kissing. You need to really get in there if you wanna if you wanna kill the enemy in one hit, which is pretty annoying at times because literally you go 1 millimeter, you take one single step away from the enemy and it's no longer a one shot. Yeah, the shotgun is something else in this game, let me tell you. Okay, yeah. So that's that. Another thing about the gameplay. about the combat that I really didn't like is how much the game relies on surprise attacks. That really frustrated me. Like, it especially gets annoying the further into the game you go, because you'll just be. If you ask me what the most important skill to master in Doom 3 is, I'd say hindsight. Because there is no way to predict uh, all of these surprise attacks. Like, you'll just be walking in a hallway and suddenly the walls open and an imp throws a fireball at you, then jumps at you, you die instantly. Oh yeah, and also you can, another thing, if you take damage, you're basically dead already because the recoil that you get from taking damage is unbelievable. If anything hits you, your camera just goes. It's like the cameraman did a flip or something, and it's it's basically a death sentence because you get so disoriented after taking the first hit that the enemies just easily get more hits on another hit on you, and you just die. At least that's how it worked on the difficulty that I played on, which was veteran. I'm doing another playthrough now on nightmare, and it's pretty miserable, let me tell you. But yeah, so yeah, that really pissed me off. That there's just so many surprise attacks all the time, and the only way to counter it is hindsight. Like, you'll be going through the hallway, you will die to the surprise attack, and then you have to reload your save, and then you know that the surprise attack is there, and then you keep going, and then there's another surprise attack. Okay, now you know that there's two surprise attacks. You just have to figure it out as you go like that, and it was kind of frustrating when it just happened all the time. And speaking of save files, I do think that that's another really annoying thing about the game. Like, most of the stuff that I've mentioned so far, I can excuse because of how old the game is. I know that making stilky, smooth gameplay was something that took game developers a while to figure out. I know that it wasn't that in old games didn't play quite as well as new games. I know that. That's all fine. That's good. That's understandable. But I don't know about the save files because, okay, so in this game there are no checkpoints. There's only, you can only just, like, at any point basically, you can save your game and then you can reload your save to play back from that spot again. There are auto saves, but they are so far apart from one another. If you rely only on auto saves, you'll take fucking 50 years to beat the game. Unless you're like playing on the easiest difficulty, I guess, and you just don't die ever. So I really hate, I really hate the fact that you need to save all the time. On one hand, it's nice because you can continue from any point, but I'd rather just have normal, reasonable checkpoints. And I don't think this is something that I can excuse, that the game can excuse by being this old, because the Ratchet and Clank games were coming out around the same time. In 2004, we already had the full original Ratchet and Clank trilogy, and these games all have the regular checkpoints. So why didn't, why not have them here? I don't get it. I really don't get it. One more thing, and I keep saying only, I know I've only been ranting so far, but I'm almost done. Just one last thing that I have to mention. There is no mission select in this game, and there is no collectible tracker. So if you're trying to get to the Platinum Trophy, which I am currently in the process of getting, you have to do you have to get every single collectible in one playthrough. because there is no collectible tracker. You can't, and no mission select. You can't just, you don't have just this like this nice mission list where you can just teleport to any mission, collect the missing collectibles, and then get out of there. Which I don't know if I can excuse with the by if I can excuse based on the game's age, because once again the Ratchet and Clank games had that. You could go to any planet you wanted, and whenever you clicked on a planet, it would tell you how many gold bolts there were to find. So I don't know. I don't know if I can excuse the game missing these features if other games from that time had them. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe the Ratchet and Clank games were just pioneers. Maybe checkpoints and collectible trackers were something that Insomniac invented, and it was a revolution in the gaming industry that the developers of Doom hadn't picked up on yet. I don't know. So yeah, that's about it for the gameplay. I know I've said only bad words about it because, well, the gameplay is just not that fun. Like, it's so clunky and unenjoyable. I mean, I've played worse games, but this wasn't this. I definitely don't call the gameplay fun here, but it's not my least favorite gameplay. I've played worse. I've played games with worse gameplay. That's for sure. But but even though there's pretty much nothing to like about the gameplay, in my opinion, I actually don't think this game is bad. I don't hate this game. Probably should have said that at the beginning, but whatever. I don't actually hate this game. I actually think that for its time, this game is really, really, really good. And even though from like as a modern gamer, it's really, really hard to play it without getting frustrated. I do think the game is great, and there's a lot to like about it, which I will move to now with the visual part. Okay, so the visuals in the game I think are really good. Obviously, the graphics do look outdated, but that doesn't mean that they can't be cool. I think I think this game's strongest suit is definitely the monster designs. I've always just loved the monster designs in Doom. It's one of the main reasons I love the franchise. I think they're some of the coolest monsters you'll find. And now, having played Doom 3, I can see that that's always been the case. Because this game does have really, really good monster designs. I love I love them all basically. There's a lot of returning monsters with great designs. Like I really love the way the Cacodemon looks in this game. It looks different than like the classic Cacodemon from the original Doom or from Doom Eternal. It does have a very unique appearance. Mm, I do I like just all of them. The Revenant, the Imp. There's also a few monsters that there's also a few monsters here that didn't make it to Doom Eternal. Like the Maggot, for example. That's also one of the cooler monsters. One of the creepiest monsters as well. It's this like creature that crawls on all fours and has like two heads or something. It's a really, really, really nasty looking motherfucker, but very cool. And there's also the cherubs, which are even fucking creepier. They are definitely mm, one of the creepiest monsters in the game. They're just these babies with like fly wings, or I guess, and like these metal arms, and they just jump at you and scream, and they're really fucking creepy, but really cool too. Like, ugh, I love the monster design in Doom. I always have. Uh, what else? What else is there that was cool? Oh yeah, the final boss man, the Cyber Demon. He looks so cool in this game. He like the Cyber Demon. in Doom 3 is probably my favorite looking cyber demon of all the Doom games. If we got like a remade or like remastered model for the Doom 3 Cyber Demon, he'd be the coolest motherfucker in the whole fucking Doom universe. I think he looks really cool. Yeah. There's also so yeah, that's basically all the monsters I thought were cool. There's one monster in particular in the game that I don't think is as cool, and that's the spider. So I'm someone who has a very strong fear of spiders. I don't like the motherfuckers. No, no, thank you. And the spiders in this game are pretty fucking scary. Like they're not the scariest spiders I've ever seen in a game. That style still belongs to either Satisfactory or Jedi Fallen Order. But they're pretty fucking scary. Like, ugh, they're nasty looking. And they sometimes they jump scare you, and and there's also sequences where like a whole room gets filled with them. Like, I was fucking screaming whenever something like that happened. I like the one thing that made them somewhat manageable is at least they're really, really slow and very, very like weak gameplay wise. They're probably the least threatening monster in the game. They die in like 2 shots from the regular machine gun. And they don't make any scary noises either, which is another thing that I appreciate because spiders always have these really creepy noises that they make, and I'm really happy that they don't hear. So I was able to push through a couple of the sequences. Like, actually, most of the sequences with the spiders, I was able to handle like a big boy. But there were a few instances, like what I just mentioned, when a room would just fill with them, where I just couldn't fucking handle it. I had to hand the controller over to my sister uh, and have her clear out the room for me, which I know sounds a little embarrassing, but there's nothing I can do, man. I see those things, I get paralyzed with fear. It's out of my control, okay? So yeah, uh, I'd rate them like a 7 out of 10 on the arachnophobia scale. So pretty fucking scary, but could be much worse. Right. So that's my spider issue resolved. Now, overall, moving away from just the monster designs, I do think that the game handles the scary vibe that it goes for really, really well. Because I'm someone who doesn't like getting scared. I get scared pretty easily, actually, even disregarding the spider element. And I don't watch things to get scared. I don't like horror. I just don't like getting scared. But I do like when things are creepy in a cool way. And that is exactly what this game does, with the exception of the spiders. Okay, don't like those guys. No. Everything else I do think is like just this scary atmosphere is sort of is really good. For the lack of a better word. I do think that the scary vibe of the game is really good. And I can't even imagine how how fucking scary this game must have been back in 2004. Like, people were probably pissing their pants over this game. This must have been really something back in the day. I imagine that for someone who has seen a lot of horror, this might not be the scariest game ever, but hey, I found it scary. And I think, and in a good way, except the spiders. Except the spiders, okay? Disregarding the spiders, I thought every like creepy element of the game was really cool, really, really nice, really moody, atmospheric. Just a really Just a really well executed horror vibe, in my opinion. To finish off the visuals, I just want to shout out the hell section in particular. That was definitely the coolest looking level in the game. I love that one. It was very scary, very, very, very helly, you know. I liked it a lot. Even though the level itself was a pain in the ass, I really liked the visuals. And especially at the start when there's like this huge fucking red abyss everywhere and you're walking on these floating bricks. That was a really cool part. So let's move on to the story. I actually liked the story a lot. I thought it was great. The main story of the main story is pretty simple. There's, the demons are attacking and you have to survive and stop them. Very basic. But there's a lot of cool lore in the game, and there's a lot of opportunities to find out some lore. You can read through the PDAs, the emails, collect all the data. There's a lot of interesting lore in the game. Now, oh, sorry. I haven't read every single PDA in the game because there are just so many of them and a lot of them weren't interesting. But I did read quite a few, and there's a lot of interesting lore in the game, like with the ancient civilization that came before, that lived on Mars way before the humans, which, if you know something about Doom lore, you can probably guess that those are the Sentinels. At least that's what I think, based on the lore that you can get from Doom Eternal and Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm pretty sure that was the Sentinels, so that was really cool to see that they were already part of the universe way back in the day, before actually getting brought fully into the fold in the new Doom games. I like that a lot. And one more thing that I just really really liked about the story is this idea that, mm, because the whole demon invasion in this game began because of the UAC inventing the teleporter. So they invented the teleporter, and then they started experimenting with teleporting around, and eventually that led to the opening of Portal to Hell. And I just fucking love that concept so much. I don't know, I don't really know why, but there's something about it because, a teleporter takes 2 points in space and sort of punches a hole to connect these 2 points in space, basically, right? And I really like the idea that by sort of messing with those boundaries of space, the UAC the UAC sort of ripped apart the boundaries separating the Earth realm from the Hell realm, and that's how all that happened. That's really, I mean, that's a really, I just love the concept for some reason. I guess maybe it's the whole idea of man messing with powers beyond his understanding that I also uh, that I also like a lot, and then that ending in disaster. That's always something that's really cool in my opinion, and also just how it like led to the. You can find the different PDAs talking about how like the whole process, like when they were back when they were still testing the teleporters, people were fucking going insane after going through the teleporter, and then when you yourself go through a teleporter, it's super fucking creepy. Like there's this visualization of like a hellish portal, and you can hear these nightmarish fucking screams. It's really cool. I love that. I love that plot element. That was definitely my favorite part of the story. Yeah. So I think the story was really good. I've always liked the lore of Doom, and it's really really cool in this game. So yeah, we move on to the soundtrack now, which I found really disappointing because there is no music in the game basically at all. There's only a couple sequences where there's like atmospheric soundtrack, like some ambience, and it is good ambience, but it also only plays at like 3 moments in the game. And there's also this like little combat track that plays, like I can recall only one specific instance of where it plays. And that's a real shame because the title screen song is a fucking banger. Like I think the song from the title screen is super good. And it's a real shame that there's no more music to be found in the game. But well, we have the title screen song, which is really good, and it's gotta be enough. And okay, and I do understand that for a lot of the horror parts they couldn't have music because it might, ruin the scary, eerie, quiet spookiness of the game that they were going for. So yeah, that's my review of Doom 3. I don't want anyone to get the idea that I hate the game. The gameplay was not fun, but I really do like the game, okay? Even if it's not fun to play, if it's not that fun to play in our day and age, I do really like it as like a story, as like this horror experience. I do think it's a great game. I don't regret playing it. Though now I probably won't be able to sleep for weeks because of the spiders, but oh well, that's a small price to pay, you know? Right, so I'll see you guys real soon for a review of the new Dark Ages DLC. I am hyped. See you then.